Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today's tip 333. And it is actually from an article called Let's Reach Success. It's like a website, a blog, and she is Lydia Kierskowska, and she says five life-changing habits that you need to start immediately to change your life going forward. So I wanted to share these just as a way we're getting into a new year. We're at the very end of 2021, and I just figured these were some things that I've put into play in the past couple of years, and I thought this is a good time to share it. For those that are part of the Doc V Challenge, he will be going live in the Transform Your Life group with, sometime after Christmas to help people get ready for 2022. Wow. So the first thing that this woman talks about in her article is that her first habit for being very successful is that you want to do your important things first thing in the morning. I'll kind of add to that is that I have a morning routine, and my morning routine is that I walk with my mom. There's a lot of mentors out there that'll tell you having a morning routine is a great way to start. Like for me, make the bed, walk with mom, meditate, journal, gratitude journaling, appreciation journaling. It kind of sets the stage for a great day. And I do agree with the important tasks first thing in the morning. I am one of those people that I know if I have a hard day of work, that morning time is where the brain seems to be the strongest. So I do my problem solving in the morning. The second thing, and hello, whoever's on with me, and Merry Christmas to you. The second thing is it says focus on one thing at a time. And I've seen a lot of studies on that lately. I kind of grew up in an era where they were trying to groom us to multitask. And multitasking, I think, is problematic because then you get diverted in so many directions that push forward or that focus is gone. So I do think this is good. I will add one little thing. By multitasking, I agree with, like, if you're working on a work project. Now, what I will do just to kind of keep my mood up is I might play like affirmations or good morning, Thomas. Good to see you. I will play like affirmations or positive affirmations or meditations in the background, but I'm not focusing on those. So this idea of the second important life-changing habit of focusing on one thing, I think that is true, because if you are problem solving and you're trying to solve two or three problems all at once and you get spread too thin, I think it does take longer to get done. So all those studies they did on multitasking, I think it was wishful thinking, and it has turned out not to be as important. The next thing they talk about, and this word is used a lot, it's almost a cliche word. They say mindful. And I'm going to kind of start changing that word mindful to, I think it's meditating, and it's doing the affirmations and the journaling, that positive, that work to make your mood, your energy higher. So when they say mood, we all know moods like sad, worry, frustration, love, joy, and happiness. And I know I make better decisions from a place of love, joy, or happiness because I have more avenues available, and I'm more optimistic and hopeful and more forward thinking if I keep myself higher. The other way they kind of refer to that is energy scale, whether you're worry. So it's the same thing, whether you want to call it the mood scale or the energy scale, but it's worry, frustration, despair. Those are from the midline and down. And then from the midline and up are your joy, happiness, love, areas that will actually just kind of propel you forward with a more hopeful nature. Number 4, a lot of us that have been with Doc V and Chris Noggle, and some of us met Randy Garn when we were at the experience this year. All of them talk about reading and studying and learning. And granted, some things may start to sound repetitive, but you know what? If you hear something a few times, it might be something you want to take a hold of and try to incorporate into your life. And even if it means, like for me, even if it means that I'm just grabbing a section and reading a section that seems important at the time, I'll do that, because I truly have always loved reading and always loved learning. It has always kind of been an escape for me, and I've always loved it. I mean, one of my favorite jobs was moonlighting in a bookstore, and I did that for 5 years during children's story hours. I loved it. It was a great thing, and it was a great gift when I could see that love of learning and that love of books was extended to the next generation. And then the fifth piece of advice that she has for being life-changing is lateral thinking. And kind of what by that she means coming at the same problem from different directions. And I'll share that one of my managers in my career, actually two of them, now that I'm thinking about it, two of them actually talked about that a lot, that we always do a peer review, and the whole idea with that peer review, and that's why I talk about, like, if I'm accounting for somebody, I think somebody else should do the taxes, and it's that second set of eyes, because kind of what they say is that if I come at a problem from this direction and I end up at this spot, and you come at it from a different avenue but you end up at the same spot, then that's that double check that we know that we're both on the right track. So I do believe in that lateral thinking, because if you can come at the same problem from different directions and you end up in the same spot, you know that you're in the right direction. You know that your answer, for all purposes, seems to be the right way to go. So I know it's Christmas and I don't want to hold everybody for very long, and I appreciate that you're here with me today. But I'll go through this list of 5, and I'm just trying to make sure I stay in this, because December 31st will be 1 year since I accepted the challenge from Doc V and started going live. And it's funny now, I go live in 2 different groups for people now on top of my daily lives. So if you'd asked me a year ago, would I survive the 30 days of going live? I probably never would have thought that I could have. And now not only am I going live on my own personal page, set up a YouTube channel to kind of transfer all my personal stuff to, but I do lives in 2 other groups, one for Doc V, one for Zara Mahoon with Unlimited. So it is possible that I could be going live 3 times a day. So don't discount anything. Try everything and maybe see what kind comes together for you. 2022 is going to be a year where, and I think this is so important, Doc V talks about this year, he's giving experiences to his family and friends, because we want to get out there. And I'm kind of looking forward to that, like when my goddaughter and one of my closest friends come together. Good morning, you, Pendra. That this next year can be experiences, whether it's a local museum. We have like Henry Ford Museum in Greenfield Village here locally. There's zoos, there's parks, like something that you can join, and you can make it a regular meeting place with your family, so that you can be adding experiences to your life that you can share together, because those are the things that we remember. When I think back in my childhood, a lot of my memories are connected to time sitting around a card table with a puzzle talking to my grandma. And as a child, I never understood that the puzzle was the thing that drew us all together to talk. Or the other thing she would do is we would sit outside in the grass in the summer, and she would actually teach me pattern. And I know that this wasn't her thought at the time, but she would teach me pattern recognition. And what would happen is I could kind of tell, and that's how I do find 4-leaf clovers, or more than 4-leaf clovers, is you start to recognize the pattern. And as soon as you start to recognize a pattern looks funny, then you just kind of flip it with your finger. Is it 2 clovers came together, or is it truly a 4 or 5-leaf clover? So I'll run through this list of 5 again with everyone, and then send everyone off for the best possible Christmas. I hope Santa fills every dream that you could possibly have for you and your family. And in this next year, let's all have some experiences together. And her pointers were, number 1 for having life-changing habits is do your important stuff in the morning when your mind is fresh and when your body is fresh. Because I do find later in the day, if I haven't exactly got the right amount of water, or if there's just a little bit too much of a heavy food, my mind tries to slow down. So important stuff, first thing, get it out of the way, and then it feels good. Number 2, focus on one thing at a time. That idea of multitasking. I'm going to say the only multitasking for me is positive affirmations or music in the background to keep my mood up, but I don't focus on 2 tasks because it takes me twice as long. Number 3, they talk about mindfulness, and I'm going to say that's what I was talking about for the background. Positive journaling, pre-paving, which is writing a positive statement. I want ease and flow throughout my day. I want to be joyful. I want to be happy. That's a pre-paving, but it's a meditative, mindful type thing. Mindful, I think, doesn't explain quite enough. Journaling, positive affirmations, and meditating. Things to make you feel good so that the decisions you make are more positive. Number 4 is read. If you don't have a passion for reading, online educational programs, there's a lot out there, and I'm finding it propels me forward because I'm hearing the same thing, then I know I need to act on it, or I might hear something just a little bit different, and it gives me hope for a new avenue of moving forward. Losing this weight, being down 175 pounds and 5 years post-surgical, It's changed my life, and I want to get every possible nugget out of it. So I'm going to read, I'm going to learn, I'm going to be active, and I'm going to join in every experience I possibly can. And for those of you I haven't met, maybe one day we'll be able to meet face to face. And for those that I have met, I'm looking forward to when we all get together again. And number 5, lateral thinking. If you're approaching something, come at it from a different avenue. If you're approaching the same problem from a couple of different spots, you're more likely to get on the right path, and it will feel better. So I'll run through these real quick because I know I divert a little bit. But important things in the morning: focus on one thing at a time. Use the tools to be mindful: meditation, affirmations, music, anything that lifts you up. Number 4, read, learn, and grab onto new information. Number 5, lateral. If something doesn't feel exactly right yet, come at it from another direction. And if you get to the same spot twice, you know you're in the right direction. Thank you for being here. I wish you the very, very best today and every day going forward. For those in the Doc V Challenge, he will be live in the Transform Your Life group in the upcoming week. For those that are part of the Zara Mahoons Unlimited, I am going live in that in the evening to talk about the journals. So stay tuned. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate you all very much. Merry Christmas and all the best to you today and always.